Justin Bieber has seemed haunted by his past for a long time, especially by what happened with Selena Gomez. Every breakup, every emotional song, and even the cryptic posts he's shared online since 2018 have felt like he was trying to show the world that he'd finally moved on. But if you look closely, the story feels different. From his lyrics to the choices he's made in love, it's hard not to see a man still trying to close a chapter that refuses to end. When Justin married Hailey Baldwin just a few months after breaking up with Selena for the last time in 2018, it shocked a lot of people. That was fast, many thought. It seemed like he hadn't given himself a moment to breathe before jumping into another big commitment. At first, the courthouse wedding, the endless photos online, and all the public displays of affection made it look like he was deeply in love. But beneath the surface, it started to seem like Justin was trying to prove something. Maybe to himself, maybe even to Selena. It felt like, in his heart, he wasn't fully free from that old relationship. That's part of why his story is so compelling. From sudden proposals to emotional moments and song lyrics that sound familiar, every move he made seemed like an attempt to step out of Selena's shadow. The wedding ring didn't close the story, it just began a new, complicated chapter. Justin and Selena officially ended things in early 2018, after years of breaking up and getting back together. By September, he was already married. No long engagement, no time to think or heal. Just straight from heartbreak to wedding vows. To most people, it looked like a fairy tale romance, but for those paying attention, it seemed more like a rush to escape feelings he couldn't deal with. Even in interviews, this was noticeable. Justin would speak about Hailey as if she were a gift from God, but his tone and expressions often told a different story. It wasn't the calm of someone at peace. It sounded more like a man trying to convince himself he was okay. And that put Hailey in a really hard position. She wasn't just a wife, she was carrying the emotional weight of someone who hadn't finished healing. Many thought marriage would bring Justin stability and help him move on, but instead, it marked the start of a deep emotional struggle. After the wedding excitement faded, things got intense. People close to him said he was having a really hard time just a few months into marriage. And it wasn't just adjusting to married life. It was questioning everything: his decisions, his happiness, and even who he was. Hailey later admitted there were days she worried about whether he'd be okay. Imagine being in your early 20s, just married, and suddenly being responsible for someone else's emotional health. That's not the peaceful marriage people imagined. It's survival mode. Justin himself later admitted that he thought marriage would fix everything, but it didn't. He expected settling down would heal him, but instead, it exposed how broken he really was. He looked to Hailey to fill a void no one else could, and at times, it was obvious. One moment that captured this struggle was when they were seen together at Universal Studios. Hailey tried to keep things light, smiling and holding his hand, but Justin looked exhausted, mentally elsewhere. Physically, he was present, but emotionally, he was still caught in the past. Hailey kept trying to be his anchor, to offer support and a sense of safety. But Justin was fighting battles that had started years earlier, and the reality began to hit fans hard. This wasn't the picture-perfect marriage people imagined. It was two people trying to navigate one person's lingering heartbreak. The more Justin tried to act like everything was fine, the clearer it became that something was wrong. Public smiles seemed forced, interviews felt rehearsed, and his energy carried a weight that didn't match the happiness he projected. On the outside, it looked like joy. But inside, it was clear he was still haunted by the past he couldn't shake. Fans started to notice patterns. His music began to hint at regret, loss, and unfinished feelings. Lyrics sounded like letters to someone from his past, messages he couldn't stop thinking about. Every song, every note, felt like proof that he wasn't fully free. And whenever Selena made a major move, a new relationship, a music release, or a public appearance, Justin's reactions online often followed soon after. It became impossible to ignore. It seemed like no matter how far he ran, the past kept catching up. And it was sad because it became clear that Justin wasn't just trying to show Hailey he loved her, he was trying to convince himself that he'd moved on. The more effort he put into acting like everything was okay, the more obvious the struggle became. There was tension between the man he wanted to be and the feelings he hadn't let go of. Hailey tried to build a life with him, but it was on unstable ground. Their marriage didn't grow from peace or closure. It started from exhaustion and heartbreak. Even though she stood by him through breakdowns, therapy, and emotional lows, it seemed Justin was chasing a kind of peace only he could give himself. If you know the story between Justin and Selena, it's easy to see why fans read so much into his songs. When he released Ghost and sang about being haunted by someone he couldn't have, listeners immediately thought of Selena Gomez. Social media exploded with theories that he still had feelings, that he wasn't over her, that part of him was trapped in the past. And when you really pay attention to the lyrics, it almost feels like he's wrestling with memories he can't escape. It wasn't just his music that gave it away. In interviews, Justin often spoke about love, heartbreak, and regret in ways that sounded far too specific to ignore. Even when he didn't mention Selena by name, fans could connect the dots. His words about mistakes, lessons learned, and emotional struggles felt like they were lifted straight from his history with her. Even in public appearances, Justin's expressions told a story. During interviews on the red carpet or at events, the smallest gestures, a tense smile, a pause, or a faraway look, sparked online discussions. Fans studied his body language, suggesting they could see flashes of sadness or nostalgia whenever the topic of his past came up. And they weren't entirely wrong. Justin's moods often seemed to line up with Selena's milestones. Whenever Selena made a move, releasing new music, attending an event, or being seen with someone else, Justin's songs, posts, or social media activity would follow soon after. It created this unspoken dialogue where his actions felt like a quiet response to her life. It painted a picture of someone who might claim to have moved on, but whose heart hadn't fully caught up. The public side of it made things even more complicated. From the moment he married Hailey, his behavior sometimes felt performative. The constant displays of affection online, the romantic captions, the vacation photos, everything seemed a little too calculated. Fans began noticing patterns, especially when these gestures coincided with moments in Selena's life. Whenever she had something big happening, suddenly Justin and Hailey were everywhere, showing off their love. It almost seemed like he was competing with a ghost, trying to prove that his life was happier than the one he left behind. Even the smallest details felt intentional. His songs, interviews, and candid moments with Hailey all carried the same energy, as if they were meant to send a message. I'm happy now. I've moved on. But the timing and tone made people question if that happiness was genuine, or just a performance to convince himself and the world. Behind the polished posts, there were cracks. Awkward exchanges, lingering looks, and moments of tension didn't match the image of someone at peace. Fans pointed out interviews and paparazzi clips where he appeared distant, uncomfortable, or distracted, like there were still unresolved emotions. It was subtle, but enough to make people wonder if he was emotionally caught between the past and the life he was trying to build. Then, 2023 stirred everything up again. The internet went wild when Selena announced her engagement to Benny Blanco. Soon after, Justin shared a Lord of the Rings meme joking about how women act after getting engaged. The timing felt too perfect to be coincidence, and fans saw it as a possible reaction to Selena's news. Whether it was a joke or an emotional slip, it hinted at feelings he hadn't fully buried. Around the same time as Selena celebrated her wedding in Santa Barbara, Justin's social media became cryptic. One post showed him playing basketball while the song I Do played in the background, a detail fans immediately noticed. Soon after, he shared random photos, short clips, and casual captions that followers tried to decode. It was messy, confusing, and emotional, like an online release of feelings he couldn't fully express. Meanwhile, Selena looked radiant. Her wedding photos showed her glowing in a Ralph Lauren gown, surrounded by family and friends, stepping into a new chapter of her life. She seemed calm, happy, and certain. Comparing that to Justin's restless online behavior, the contrast was striking. She appeared to have closure, while he still seemed caught in the search for it. Over the years, Justin has done everything possible to show he moved on. Getting married, writing new songs, sharing public gestures, and carefully crafting an image of happiness. But Selena's presence in his story hasn't completely faded. Every song, post, or emotional slip often circles back to the chapter he hasn't fully closed. It's not just fans romanticizing the past. The timeline, the coincidences, and his reactions fit too neatly to ignore. Justin's actions often feel like echoes of a love he can't escape, no matter how many new beginnings he tries to create. He may have built a new life, but part of him still seems stuck replaying the old one. For fans, it's like watching someone fight an internal battle between letting go and holding on. Justin's journey has become one of love, regret, and the struggle to find peace after losing something that shaped so much of who he is. Even now, years later, it feels like he still thinks about Selena, whether he admits it or not. That's what makes the story so heartbreaking. He's tried everything to close that chapter, but no matter how far he moves forward, the past keeps creeping back into his music, his words, and his life. Some connections, it seems, just don't fade, no matter how much time passes.